Can't you see the way I'm smiling? Looks like I'm doing close-up Albert. You don't want to know who's with me. I'm starstruck. Jesus. Oh my God, I'm blushing. Guess who is with me right now? Guess. Let me give you an expo. Okay. He's handsome. He was my rival in Abattoir. He sang the latest song, Favor. You surround me like a shield. Yes, I guess right now you know the name. Can we see Evangelist Lawrence Oyor in the building? Wow, what a privilege having you.
Thank you.
Having Mr. Akin.
Thank you.
Lawrence Oyor with me. Thank you so much for, being a part of my show today. Wow, it's so nice to have you.
Same here.
You're looking good as ever.
Thank you.
And fireful, I feel like falling. Okay, so yeah, my first question would be, a lot of people are actually really confused about what is their core, how to navigate life, and all that. So I want to ask, how were you able to identify your core? How do you know it was music?
Okay. There are two answers that I would give as far as calling is concerned. It's a very broad subject. But the first thing is that calling is unveiled gradually. So, and this one is a very funny one because I have many friends as examples of what I'm saying, who when I met them initially, there's one, I will not mention his name, but I'll still give as an example. Very popular man of God now, And when I first met him, he said God has called him to teaching, and that he's not going to teach more than 20 people who will now influence others.
Wow.
He said, wow, great. That his ministry is supposed to be like in a parlor, like this and all of that. And he will just teach. The teaching will travel to nations like Andrew Womack one time, when he's here. Years down the line now, this guy is pastoring with plenty branches all over the place. And I just smiled. I remember that time in the parlor when he was telling me those words. So your calling assignment, your, all of that is unveiled season after season. So it's very dangerous to use today to judge tomorrow. What you know about today is limited, and God is unveiling you to you gradually. It's a gradual process. That's the reason why pressure should be off your life, because the one who is revealing you to you knows why he has not revealed this much to you yet. Because some of us are not even ready for
what he's going to reveal.
We're not ready. We are classified information. Once Joseph saw a peek of his future, he started catching everything by his own hands. God had to be rearranging him because everything works together, but we don't realize that it didn't have to be as complicated as he made it. Who sent you to go and tell your brothers and your parents, and they end you up in the pit, they end you up in the... It looks like a beautiful storyline, but it didn't necessarily have to be like that. Jacob could have gone with his children to Egypt, and something might have transpired, and he would have started school there or something, and then rose to become, and they recognized him. Another story could have played out. But because he was under pressure, that information that he got, made him to. So that's from all these ages of stories of men of God throughout history. Obviously, heaven has to be intentional with our generation by revealing as much as we can take. Some of us, the pride we will receive from the information will be the reason why we will not reach it.
Okay, but Lawrence, I just want to make it. I want us to make it more practical, right? Some persons feel like they have to be passionate about something, so that can be a step to knowing what they should do, what their assignment is in life. So could it be that years ago you loved singing? You enjoyed singing, you just found yourself singing without the mic, you're baiting, you are singing, like my sing in the bathroom, I don't know, that never became my call, it's not my call, right? You just find yourself singing in the bathroom, you are strolling on the road, you are singing, so could it be that there was a passion somewhere that was translated into a call?
Yes, so more practically now, when you look at your talents and passions, sometimes they are, highlights to things that you're going to do in the future. From the age of 7, my brother and I, I'm a twin by the way, my brother and I I started singing.
That's God's way, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes. So from primary school, we're singing when in the choir. And that's gone on. We're in every single choir you can imagine. Primary school, secondary school,
that's a long
fellowship, NYSC, church. You know, everywhere we've ever been, we're in the choir, even law school. So throughout the processes, you could see the hand of God on our music, training us for a future we're not yet aware of.
Wow.
Music was my worst subject.
Are you serious?
In primary school.
Even though you were singing,
yeah.
it was your worst subject?
Yeah, music was, because it just seemed, I don't know, it seemed a bit complicated. I just hated the teacher, hated the subject and all of that. Even formed a song against music. And they beat me for it. I can still remember. That was primary 5.
Wow.
Or primary 4, sorry. And then my father got us a guitar at age 8 or 9. So all those signs will be showing up. But we didn't accept it. They got us a piano teacher. We frustrated him until he left.
So wait, even though you were singing naturally, you got the equipment, the tools for it, but you still didn't.
Yeah, we're not conscious of the fact that this is a calling. You can sing, you can sing. We're not even conscious of the fact that we could sing well. That's another funny story entirely. It was until SS1, SS2 when we realized, okay, our voices were good. So, but we didn't realize that there was anything to it, that there was a calling in that direction. Just noticed that everywhere we are singing. Yeah.
So at what point in your life did you notice that this one is my assignment?
So that was SS2.
SS2.
I was
there
secondary
any
school.
notable encounters?
Yeah, I'm trying to make it simple for people. Because once I say encounters, people will cut themselves off and say, I mean, I've not had
encounter.
Encounter.
Yes.
I was excited about music at this point. And God was using us in secondary school, in boarding school, to lead worship. And things were happening. You know, people would cry. Just the presence of God through our music. And so I began to envision myself in future. You know, I had the name of the ministry, in fact. Yeah, I was just daydreaming in the night on the bed.
Wow.
I'll see the glory bringers. That was the name I had.
Wow.
So I was just getting intoxicated with the pictures. Not like God was giving me visions. I was journeying and daydreaming by the Spirit of God and trusting God for such a future where the cloud of glory will come into the building, people cannot stand. So that was SS2. By 100 level, when I was going to university, they asked me when I was about to get admission. That's the post-UME, post-UTME, which almost cost me my admission, by the way. They said, what do you want to do when you finish studying law? What are you going to do with law? Nobody told me I'm supposed to answer and say, hey, and I plan to deliver the captives and fight for the motherless and the widows. I went to go and tell them what my future plan is. I said, I actually don't plan to use law for anything. That I see myself in the music industry in future. And they looked at me like, people are trying to enter into this place. You are telling us that you want to just use it, use it and waste it.
So that means you studied law, you never used it to work?
Yeah.
Wow. So music is full-time for you?
Yeah.
Wow. So
many other things, not just music.
Many other things, but music was really, music is core, right?
You can say so.
So is it possible that when you accept the call of God upon your life, you know, it becomes full-time for you? You don't necessarily have to have other things that you're doing.
There's so many things you are asking that need a lot of explanation.
Yeah.
When you say music is core,
like you can have some, like for example, there are ministers you meet, you say they are full-time ministers.
Yes.
They are full-time ministers.
No, I mean, before this question I have asked, I want to quickly clarify the first one you said. Music is not necessarily the calling.
Okay.
The calling for me is assignment. Then the talents or capacities serve that assignment. For example, 2013, August, God said, teach my church to pray. So my assignment for about a decade, if you notice, my emphasis was prayer, 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 prayer. So even the music, notice what it was doing. It was pushing prayer. It was not, so that was the difference between me and many others that I had to stick to as well. So the calling is different from, you get what I'm saying? Yes. So music is not necessarily a calling in my head. Music is serving a calling. So that's by the way. So back to this matter of full-time ministry or not full-time ministry. I grew up in clergy family. Full-time is what all of us are used to. My father never worked a day in his life. So naturally, I just never imagined myself working in an office. However, I don't believe that a person is on full time until ministry is taking your full time.
That's something to mark. Yeah, you
I'll
don't
say
believe.
that again. You are not on full time if you are 3 hours on Facebook.
Wow.
2 hours on Instagram, and 4 hours, even if you have 4 hours in the presence, which would really matter to count. But check them. Many of the full time people are not praying.
That's true.
So what do you mean by full time? You are being lazy in the work of ministry and calling it full time. Go and work, Oga. Go and work. Go and work. If it's full time, it will pay.
That's true.
Nobody gives themselves that with that kind of volume of time to anything and it will not pay.
So that brings me to something else. If it's full time, it will pay, right? So I met this person. Because I'm privileged to meet a number of persons, but I can't sell. So I met someone who said to me that he really loves to sing. You know, God has called him. He sees himself in dreams. He sing, and people will fall under the anointing fall. And then he has joined this choir. He's been moving. He has a band, but he's hungry. He's hungry. Why is God punishing him? You get, he prays, he fasts, but he just sees that God is punishing him. He's hungry. He finds it difficult to do that. Even when he came to my office to see me, he had to borrow money. So what would you say about that? Because you said something very striking. You said full time. Sorry, you said serving God pays, right? And if you really give yourself to it, it will pay you. But this is some money, and then this is not just him. There are many people like this.
So let me ask that guy. If that guy sits before me, I will ask him how many fastings he gives himself to. Because some of these things that he's complaining about, if he puts himself into a rigorous fasting program, he will break certain limits around his ministry and calling. So that's one. Does he give himself to fasting? Does he give himself to prayer? Does he give himself to excellence? If they give him the mic,
fasting, prayer, excellence.
If they give him the mic, what's going to happen? This is not you whining yourself. Anybody who has results will be sought after. This thing is just the fact, but we keep deceiving ourselves. There's no one who has results that will not struggle, to maintain his or her private life, because they will keep coming after you. The body of Christ is wired to latch on anyone they find that is happening. Yeah, once anybody has the hand of God on them, there are not so many. Yeah, so if the hand of God is truly on him, I'm telling you that the immediate effect is doors and platforms, usually, unless, like I said, there's a siege on that ministry. That's why I said fasting and prayer can break it, or somebody with high authority can speak over his life and then shift him in that area. But once the hand of God is strong on his life, usually it will lead to platforms, it will lead to doors, and of course resources come from those platforms.
So people will see the evidence.
Yes, resources will begin to come, and then you do things excellently, because you can be doing things and you're not excellent, and they will treat you as such. Yeah, but when you're excellent in your presentation, usually it leads to kings encountering you, and then resources obviously from that. And then structuring the ministry as well. You need to structure everything he's doing in such a way that there are opportunities for resources to come in through what he's doing.
Okay, so now I understand it. When there's the hand of God upon your life and you are giving to fasting, prayers, excellence, and all that, the truth is, when people see this evidence, they will naturally get resources from them.
Jesus on the Go isn't just a name, it's our mission. Join us for your daily dose of faith and inspiration by hitting that subscribe button.